Cisco switches can be configured with a special IP address known as the Switch Virtual Interface (SVI). The SVI or management address can be used for remote access to the switch to display or configure settings. If the VLAN 1 SVI is assigned an IP address, by default, all ports on VLAN 1 have access to the SVI IP address. You will build a simple topology using Ethernet LAN cabling to access a Cisco switch using the console and remote access methods. Cable the network and verify the default switch configuration. You will set up the network topology and verify the default switch settings. Cable the network. Click and drag switch S1 and place it on the left side on the table. Okay. Drag the switch S1 to left side on the table. Click and drag the device PCA and place on the right side of the table. And drag PCA to the right. Connect a console cable from device PCA to switch S1. Do not connect the device PCA Ethernet cable at this time. Okay, select a console cable. And connect from port RS-232 to console on switch S1. But the console of this switch is on rear. Right click, inspect rear. And this is the console. Okay. Okay, so this is the connection, the console connection from PCA RS-232 port to the console port of S1. From desktop tab of PCA, use terminal to connect to the switch. Okay, but first, turn on the PC. Okay, click here. Click on the switch. Zoom in. Okay, this is the power supply, alternate current power supply, AC power supply. Click on PC, desktop, terminal. Okay. Would you like to enter initial configuration dialog? No. This is the prompt. And user exec mode. Okay, enable. Now you are on privilege exec mode. Show running config. Show run. Enter space, 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 space. Okay, now you can see the host name by default is switch. Interfaces. No IP address on interface VLAN 1, no IP address and is shut down. No configurations on line console or No configurations on auxiliary port, no configurations on VTY lines. Why must you use a console connection to initially configure the switch? Why is not possible to connect to the switch via Telnet or SSH? No IP addressing parameters are configured yet. Switch Cisco 3650 first placed into service has no networking configuration. Verify the default switch configuration. You will examine the default switch settings, iOS information, interface properties, VLAN information, and flash memory. You can access all the switch iOS commands in privileged exec mode. Okay, click on the PC and this is privileged exec mode. Access to the privileged exec mode should be restricted by password protection to prevent unauthorized use because it provides direct access to global configuration mode and commands used to configure operating parameters. And you will set passwords later in this activity. The privileged exec mode command set includes those commands contained in user exec mode, as well as the configure command through which the access to the remaining commands modes is gained. Use the enable command to enter privileged exec mode. Okay, click on the PC and I used the enable command to access from the user exec mode to the privileged exec mode. The difference is the prompt, a different symbol. Assuming the switch had no configuration file stored in non-volatile random access memory (NVRAM), a console connection using terminal will place you at the user exec mode prompt on the switch with a prompt switch and this symbol. Use the enable command to enter privileged exec mode. Okay, click on the PC and I will do it again. I will exit from privileged exec mode, just exit, enter, and now you are on user exec mode with this symbol greater than, then use enable, enter, and now you are on privileged exec mode. And the prompt is different. This is the hashtag. Notice that the prompt changed in the configuration to reflect privileged exec mode. Okay, this is the privileged exec mode with this prompt. This is the hashtag. Verify that there is a clean default configuration file on the switch by issuing the show running config privileged exec mode command. Show running config, or use the complete command show running -config. Enter. Space, 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 space. And how many gigabit Ethernet interfaces does the switch have? Okay, from 1 to 24, and from 1111 to 1114 is 28 gigabit Ethernet interfaces. What is the range of values shown for the VTY lines? Okay, from 0 to 4. But when you will configure the device, you will be able to configure from 0 to 4 and from 5 to 15. So the range is from 0 to 4 and from 5 to 15. Examine the startup configuration file in NVRAM, non-volatile RAM. Show startup config. Okay, show startup dash config. Enter. Is not present. Why does this message appear? No configurations have been saved to NVRAM. Examine the characteristics of the SVI switch virtual interface for VLAN 1. Show interface VLAN 1. Show interface VLAN 1. Is there an IP address assigned to VLAN 1? No. But you can use the following command: show IP interface VLAN 1. Okay, because this command maybe is only showing the characteristics and settings about layer 1 and 2 of the OSI model. So with show IP interface VLAN 1, you will show settings about layer 3 on the OSI model. Use IP enter. No IP address. And the is administratively down, protocol is down, internet protocol processing disabled. What is the MAC address of this switch virtual interface? This is the MAC address. 12 hexadecimal numbers or 48 bits. Okay, so also you can see boardnet in address, this MAC address, because this can be configured or can be changed using software. You can change the MAC address, but this is the original MAC address in the integrated circuit in the chip. Okay, is this interface up? No. Administratively down, protocol down. Cisco switches have the shutdown command configured by default on VLAN 1. And VLAN 1 will not reach the up state until a port is assigned to it, and this port is also up. If there is no port in the up state in VLAN 1, then the VLAN 1 interface will be up. Line protocol down. By default, all the ports are initially assigned to VLAN 1. Examine the IP properties of the switch virtual interface VLAN 1. Show IP interface VLAN 1. Show IP interface VLAN 1. What output do you see? VLAN 1 is administratively down, line protocol is down, internet protocol processing disabled. Connect an Ethernet cable from PCA to gigabit 106 of the switch. Okay, and use this Ethernet copper SRWE through cable to connect fast Ethernet on the PC to gigabit 106 on the switch. Allow time for the switch and PC to negotiate duplex and speed parameters. Examine the IP properties of the switch virtual interface VLAN 1. Okay, click on the PC. Now you can see this log interface gigabit Ethernet 106 changed state to up, protocol state to up, but on gigabit Ethernet 106. Okay, enter. And now again, verify. Examine the IP properties of the switch virtual interface VLAN 1. Show IP interface VLAN 1. Enter. And still VLAN 1 is administratively down, line protocol is down, internet protocol processing disabled. What output do you see? Okay, this output. Enter global configuration and enable the switch virtual interface VLAN 1 interface. Okay, configure terminal interface VLAN 1, no shutdown. Okay, now VLAN 1 state up, protocol up. Okay, exit. Exit from interface configuration mode to global configuration mode. Examine the IP properties of the switch virtual interface VLAN 1. Okay, exit again and show IP interface VLAN 1. Now, what output do you see? VLAN is up, line protocol is up, internet protocol processing disabled. Okay, interface, the switch virtual interface is up, VLAN 1. Examine the Cisco iOS version. Use this command show version. Show version. What is the Cisco iOS version that the switch is running? This is 16.3.2. Catalyst switch, Cisco Catalyst switch version 16.3.2, or on the flash image, Catalyst 16.3.2. What is the system image file name? This is the name. cat3k underscore CAA dash universal k9 dot 16.03.02 dot SPA dot beam. What is the base Ethernet MAC address of this switch? Base Ethernet MAC address is this. Okay, 12 hexadecimal numbers or 48 bits. Examine the default properties of the gigabit Ethernet 106 interface used by PCA. Show interface gigabit 106. Show interface gigabit 106. Enter. space. Is the interface up or down? Up. Protocol up. What event would make an interface go down? Okay, and removing the cable or enter the command shutdown on the interface. What is the MAC address of the interface? This is. What is the speed and duplex setting of the interface? The duplex is full duplex and the speed is 100 megabits per second. So why is 100 megabits if the interface is gigabit Ethernet? So you know gigabit Ethernet runs at 1000 megabits per second, but the speed is only 100 megabits per second because the interface on the PC is only fast Ethernet. The interface on the PC only runs at 100 megabits per second. So the link will run at the lowest speed. Okay. Examine the default VLAN setting of the switch. Show VLAN. Show VLAN. What is the name of VLAN 1? VLAN 1 default. Which ports are in VLAN 1? All ports, the 28 ports. From gigabit 101 to gigabit 1024 and from gigabit 1111 to gigabit 1114. Is VLAN 1 active? Yes, it's active. What type of VLAN is the default VLAN? VLAN 1 type Ethernet. This means Ethernet. Ethernet VLAN. Examine flash memory. Issue one of the following commands to examine the contents of the flash directory. Show flash or dir flash. I will use show flash column. Now, these are the two files in the flash memory. The iOS image is this, the iOS image, and the VLAN.dat file. Files have a file extension, such as bin, at the end of the file name. Directories do not have a file extension. Okay, two files. What is the file name of the Cisco iOS image? Is this cat3k underscore CAA dash universal K9 1632 SPA bin. Configure basic network device settings. Configure basic switch settings. Copy the following basic configuration and paste it into S1 while in global configuration mode. Okay, enter these commands to the switch, but on global configuration mode. So use configure terminal to access global configuration mode. This config is the global configuration mode, and add no IP domain dash lookup. Set a hostname as one. Now the hostname is as one. Encrypt clear text passwords with service password dash encryption. Sorry, password dash encryption. And set a password for enable to set a password to access from user exec mode to privileged exec mode. Enable secret. This password will be class. And set a banner message of the day on authorized access is strictly prohibited. That. Enter. Set the SBI IP address of the switch. This allows remote management of the switch. Before you can manage S1 remotely from PCA, you must assign the switch an IP address. The default configuration of the switch is to have the management of the switch controlled through VLAN 1. However, a best practice for basic switch configuration is to change the management VLAN to a VLAN other than VLAN 1. For management purposes, use VLAN 99. The selection of VLAN 99 is arbitrary and in no way implies that you should always use VLAN 99. Create the new VLAN 99 on the switch. Okay, global configuration mode VLAN 99. Enter. Okay, exit. Next, set the IP address of the switch to 192.168.1.2 with a subnet mask of 255.255.255.0 on the internal virtual interface VLAN 99. Okay, look at the addressing table. Switch S1 VLAN 99. Configure this IP address with this prefix or subnet mask interface VLAN 99. Okay, interface VLAN 99. Set the IP address. The IPv4 address 192.168.1.2, 285.255.255.0. Enter. An IPv6 address can also be configured on the switch virtual interface. Use the IPv6 addresses listed in the addressing table. Okay, there are two addresses for the switch for S1. This address, global unicast address, and this link local address. IPv6 address 2001 DBA AC80 1:2 prefix 64. Enter. And the link local FE80:2 link local. Enter. Notice that the VLAN 99 interface is in the down state even though you entered the no shutdown command. Okay, no shutdown. Okay, interface VLAN 99, IP addresses, no shutdown, and now you are on privileged exec mode, and you can use this show IP interface VLAN 1. But use show IP interface VLAN 99. VLAN 99 is up, but line protocol is down. Okay. The interface is currently down because no switch ports are assigned to VLAN 99. Okay, so that's why the state is up, but the protocol is down. because no switch ports are assigned to VLAN 99. Assign all user ports to VLAN 99. To establish a connectivity between the host and the switch, the ports used by the host must be in the same VLAN as the switch. After a few seconds, VLAN 99 comes up because at least one active port, the interface number 6, with PCI attached, is now assigned to VLAN 99. Okay, so assign all user ports to VLAN 99. Remember the range of ports. You have 28 ports, but I will assign from port 101 to port 1024 to VLAN 99. Okay, configure terminal and global configuration mode interface range gigabit 101 to 1024 and use switch port access VLAN 99. Okay, and now you can see line protocol interface VLAN 1 down and line protocol interface VLAN 99 up. Okay, and verify show IP interface VLAN 99. VLAN 99 is up and line protocol is up. Very good. Okay, because interface gigabit 106 is assigned now to VLAN 99. Okay. Issue the show VLAN brief command to verify that all ports are in VLAN 99. Show VLAN brief. Okay. 24 ports are assigned to VLAN 99. 4 ports are assigned to VLAN 1, but 24 ports are assigned to VLAN 99, including the active port gigabit 106. Configure the default gateway for S1. If no default gateway is set, the switch cannot be managed from a remote network that is more than one router away. Although this activity does not include an external IP gateway, assume that you will eventually connect the LAN to a router for external access. Assuming that the LAN interface on the router is 192.168.1.1, set the default gateway for the switch. Okay, configure terminal IP default dash gateway 192.168.1.1. Okay, very good. And I am not configuring IPv6 default gateway because the IPv6 default gateway is assigned automatically by the IPv6 router. Console port access should also be restricted with a password. Use Cisco as the console login password in this activity. Okay, access to line console 0. Okay, there is only one console because there is only one port. There is only one port for console. This number 0. And set the password Cisco. Password Cisco. The default configuration is to allow all console connections with no password needed. To prevent console messages from interrupting commands, use the login synchronous option. Login synchronous. Enter. Okay, but don't forget to activate the login with the login command. Enter. Okay, exit. Login command will permit to login in this console connection with this password Cisco. If you forget login command, you will not be able to access the device. Configure the virtual terminal VTY lines for the switch to allow telnet access. If you do not configure a VTY password, you will not be able to use telnet to access the switch. Okay, to configure the VTY lines, remember VTY line VTY. The range you can use from 0 to 4 or from 0 to 15. Okay, and from 0 to 15 you have 16 lines, 16 connections. Enter and set the password Cisco, for example, and don't forget login. Okay, exit. Okay, exit from line configuration mode to global configuration mode. Why is the login command required? Without the login command, the switch will not prompt you for a password. Configure an IP address on PCA. Assign the IP address and subnet mask to the PC. Okay. For PCA, use this IP, IPv4 and IPv6. An abbreviated version of the procedure is described here. The default gateway is not required for this topology to function. However, you should enter 192.168.1.1 and FE80:1 to simulate the router attached to S1. Okay, go to PC, close the terminal, open IP configuration, and for IPv6 and for IPv4 use this. Change this to static and set 192.168.1.10. Subnet mask prefix 24 is 255.255.255.0, and for gateway assume this 192.168.1.1, 192.168.1.1, and for IPv6 use this IPv6 address and static 2001 db8 ACAD 1::10 prefix 64. For the default gateway use this FE80:1. Okay, and verify and test network connectivity. You will verify and document the switch configuration, test end-to-end connectivity between PCA and S1, and test remote management capability on the switch. Okay, first ping from PCA to switch S1. Go to command prompt on PCA and ping the IPv4 address of switch S1. Is this 192.168.1.2, 192.168.1.2. Success. Ping to the IPv6 address of the switch. Ping to 001 db8 ACAD 1::2. Success. And now test the remote management. When you configure VTY lines on the switch, you configure the telnet access. Okay, the telnet access. So you can use telnet with IPv4 or with IPv6 telnet. And use the password. Remember, the password is Cisco. Cisco. Now you are on the switch. Okay, very good. Exit. Display the switch configuration. Use the console connection on PCA to display and verify the switch configuration. Show running config command displays the entire running configuration. Click on the PC, close command prompt, use terminal for the console connection. Remember this console connection. Terminal, okay, and show running config, okay, and to go privilege access mode and show running config. Show running config, enter space, and review. This is the service password encryption that will encrypt clear text passwords. Hostname S1, enable secret. This is class but is encrypted. Interfaces on VLAN 99. Okay, physical interfaces on VLAN 99. Interface VLAN 1, no IP address. This virtual interface is not used, but VLAN, switch virtual interface VLAN 99 with IPv4, IPv6 addresses. The default gateway for IPv4. Remember, the default gateway for IPv6 will be assigned automatically, and the banner, the line console, the password for console, this is Cisco but is encrypted, and login synchronous login, BTY lines from 0 to 4 and from 5 to 15, password and login, password and login. Okay, this is the telnet access. This is the console connection access, both protected by passwords. Show interface VLAN 99. Show interface VLAN 99. Enter. What is the bandwidth of this interface? 100 megabits per second or 100,000 kilobits per second is the same. What is the VLAN 99 state? The state is up. What is the line protocol state? Line protocol is up. Test end-to-end connectivity with ping. Verify that PCA can ping IPv4 and IPv6 address of S1. Okay, close terminal, open command prompt, repeat the ping. This is the IP address of the switch, number 2, enter, success. The IPv6 address in the switch, success. Because PCA needs to resolve the MAC address of S1 through ARP, the first packet may time out. If ping results continue to be unsuccessful, troubleshoot the basic device configuration. Check both the physical cabling and logical addressing. Test and verify remote management of S1. You will now use Telnet to remotely access the switch. PC8 and S1 reside side by side. In a production network, the switch could be in a wiring closet on the top floor, while your management PC is located on the ground floor. You will use Telnet to remotely access switch S1 using the switch virtual interface management address. Telnet is not a secure protocol, however, you will use it to test the remote access. With Telnet, all information, including passwords and commands, are sent in plain text. Later, you will use SSH to remotely access the network devices. Okay, open desktop on PCA. Okay, close command prompt. Telnet SSH client. Telnet SSH client. Use Telnet. The management address of the destination. The destination is the switch 192.168.1.2. Connect. And password, you know, is Cisco. Enter. Okay. Look at this, the message of the day banner. The password is Cisco. Now you are on the switch. After entering the password Cisco, you will be at the user exit mode prompt. User exit mode prompt. Access the privilege mode using the enable command. Enable, and remember the password is class to access privilege exit mode. Okay, class. Now you are on privilege exit mode. Save the configuration. Okay, save changes on the switch. Save the configuration on the switch. So if the switch is shut down, all changes on this switch will be saved. So copy running-config to startup-config. Enter, enter. Okay. Type exit. Exit. The current session has closed. Do you want to re-establish a new session with the previous session options? No. Okay. Deploy switch S1 on the production network. You will now install switch S1 on the production network and disconnect the console cable. Telnet will be used to remotely access the switch and complete any additional configuration and verification. In subsequent activities, you will use SSH to remotely access network devices. Move switch S1 to the rack. Okay, move the switch to the rack. Okay, and now right-click on switch S1 and select Inspect Rear. Right-click, Inspect Rear. Okay, this is the console connection. Click and drag the console cable to the pegboard. Right-click on the switch, Inspect Rear, and drag the console cable to the pegboard. Okay, very good. Okay, completion 96%. So you can review what is missing, check results. Okay, the default gateway on the switch is 1. Okay, click on the PC to access using Telnet. Remember, this is the client Telnet SSH client, use Telnet. The IP address of the switch is 192.168.1.2. Connect. Password is Cisco. Enable class. Show running config. The default gateway of the switch is 192.168.1.1. Instruction set, assuming that the LAN interface on the router is 192.168.1.1, set the default gateway on the switch, 192.168.1.1. So the packet tracer file has an error on the score, but don't worry, all is very well configured and all is working fine. Okay, so assume this completion is 100%. Thank you very much.